and let's not stay holding the bell. Father, allow us to continue to give a good word. And at the end of each day, Father, be mindful and say thank you for everything you've done for us. But we must believe that you took us to the cross. You went into a borrowed tomb. But you got up, you said, I got power, heaven and earth at the palm of my hand. We're going to be mindful to give you all the glory for everything. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that powerful prayer, Pastor. Thank you for that prayer. We have a wonderful show for you guys this morning. We have some wonderful guests talking about the level where we are. The one thing I want to make sure that people and listeners understand where we are with our budget here in the city of Flint. We have a structural deficit inside the city of Flint. And structural deficit, just to define what that is that we spend more money than we collect in. We've been on a trajectory for a very long time, but no one has really alarmed the public to what that really looks like. There's been a lot of shell games played with our local budget over the past years. We know that we've received 5 emergency managers inside the city of Flint because of the deficit. We know that communities throughout the state of Michigan have received these things. The city of Detroit was bankrupt. Saginaw, Pontiac, Collin Park, all face these type of things because of a pension system that really is really heavy, a heavy load for the pension. That's what they call an unfunded liability. Now, on the other side, $1.9 trillion has been released. High-minded legislation in Washington, D.C. has been released for the recovery of our country from the deadly virus of the COVID-19 virus. America was shut down for the better part of a year and a half. Through that process, monies were lost, revenues were lost, businesses lost dollars. And so the high-minded legislation, those things into place, allowed us to be able to try to have a level of recovery. These are one-time dollars. The city of Flint was blessed with $94.7 million. The county was blessed with $77 million. The Flint School District was blessed with $111 million. And so people can understand that this is one-time dollars to be able to help backfill the hole left by the deadly virus. Now, what we've seen in the past here in the city of Flint, and make sure people understand that it is me, Sheldon Neeley, Mayor of the city of Flint, we have eliminated what I call public corruption, the passive criminal element type of activity engaged. And I guarantee the public that all of the dollars that's been dedicated for the recovery of this community, whether it be for the water crisis, financial crisis, or the pandemic, those dollars will not miss their mark. They will always be dedicated, and they will arrive for the benefit of the public, outside of any corrupt, nefarious activity to reroute dollars to go into the pockets of those who don't mean the residents of this community any good. And so with that, we put in measurements a compliance organization, a company, to be able to track every dollar that has been allocated to this community from its inception to its expiration. People will never have to ask where the dollars went because we will know. Setting up a structure and a process to make sure corruption cannot live, breathe, or repopulate in this community. And we will be talking more about that, but definitely we have more on to talk about. But we've been talking about saving lives over the past 2 years, and to that effort, we've had Dr. Furholden and Dr. Reynolds making sure that we provide the best medical advice and also the best science in order to keep the deadly COVID virus pushing out so we can reactivate our community, our state, and our country. So, Dr. Furholden, can you tell us where we are with our pandemic rate and where are we still going in the right direction?
You know what? Can you go to Dr. Reynolds? I'm pulling up the data as we speak.
Okay, I can definitely do that. Dr. Reynolds, you are always on the ready. I know you are. So tell us where we are and what we need to be doing.
We are in what may be called a recovery phase, okay? But I'd like people to get this image in their head. When you go to the lake or you go to the beach, you see a wave coming in, right? And the wave rises and the wave falls, and then there's this trough where the water looks calm. Usually, there's another wave coming. Now, we don't always know how high that wave will be, but we are not through this pandemic yet. So what I'm saying, be prepared for the next wave that's coming. Get your children 5 and older immunized for COVID. Get yourselves older 5 and 5 get immunized for COVID. The vaccination is the foundation for prevention of the complications of COVID. And that means hospitalization, being on a vent, death, and all those things, most of those things that will follow, what we call the long COVID syndrome. And you all say, well, you're just saying this stuff. But you see, I came up during the polio epidemic, and I have colleagues my age in their 70s. There's a senator in Congress who's probably in his 80s who still has the effects of polio, and they come back with muscle weakness, balance problems. Think about shingles. That's another viral condition. You get chicken pox when you're 4 or 5, and then when you're 45 or 65, you get this burning rash that comes across one side of your body. So just keep in mind, what we vaccinate for today reduces the problems we have tomorrow. And there are many young parents who have never seen these conditions. And that's because these vaccines have been effective in giving us real herd immunity without people getting the disease and the complications thereof. So please get vaccinated. Get up to date on your vaccinations. Get boosters. Call your doctor's office, the health department, Hamilton, GHS, and get your boosters up to date. Dr. Furholder, think about your family before you go out. If you get in a crowd and you don't know the people, put on a mask or leave. And if you feel sick, get tested. I'll stop there.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dr. Reynolds. And Dr. Furholden, as we engage and still the country is pushing in the right direction. So where are we looking at in Genesee County and the City of Flint?
Don't kill me. I'm still pulling the data up. Something is wrong with my internet.
Okay, we can come back to you because we have some other dynamic members on this call to be able to talk about some very important, pressing things for our community. On the phone with us right now, the treasurer of the City of Flint, Amanda Trill, is here to talk about where we've been and what we've been doing. For the 27 months, we kept the water on inside the City of Flint before it was a mandate from the state government. We started it here first under the direction of Dr. Reynolds, making sure we provided people with the necessary tools to be able to defend themselves against this deadly virus, the COVID-19. Now we're engaging a process of trying to make sure that we get those individuals who have not been habitually paying. And what that means is people who have not paid their bill or communicated with the City of Flint in over a year that has high bills. I think we pulled up an aggregate of maybe 50 users who not paid their bill or communicated with the City of Flint for over a year. 50 individuals owed more than $300,000. And so I want to give an example of what that really means to our system. When we're trying to a flat rate and lower our rates for water inside the City of Flint, we have to go through a measurement of many different things. Right now, we probably have about 70% or just a little bit over 75% of the individuals keeping up on their water bill. But we have our provider that we have to pay for the commodity of water. And if we have people who are not habitually are not paying or making arrangements to make any level of payment, we have the issue of 75% of the people carrying the full load for 100% of the users. So right now, we're working through our systems to make communication with those habitual non-payers. If they have an issue, if you know people that have an issue with the cost of water, that they cannot afford it, we have programs that we can help them. Ignoring our communications or ignoring the fact that you can come in and talk and ask for assistance. Do not do that. That is not the answer. Communicate with our departments. We can find the additional dollars and resources out there from state government to county government to the local unit of government to be able to help those that may be in need or in crisis. We can do it, but we cannot help you if we do not know who you are or if you are indeed still the user of the water that is the resident where the property is, the water where the water is on at. Amanda, can you tell people how they can call the City of Flint to get the level of help that they need?
Yes, sir. Residents can call the Customer Service Center at area code 810-766-7015, And we do have a variety of agencies that are able to help. And I can give you those phone numbers also. G-Card is the one. They have a couple programs right now. Their number is 810-768-4675. And you can also call 232-2185. There's the RAP program that they help do the intake with. They also do the LEWAP program, and there's going to be the new one that will be starting next month. And that one is going to be for homeowners. The other two are for monthly tenants. So that other one for homeowners will be starting next month. They can also call Catholic Charities at 810-232-9950. And residents can also go to michigan.gov/MDHHS to go onto their site to sign up for some of these programs. And it will direct you how to get to them, and that way they can do it online also.
Right, and also we gave a series of about maybe 6 numbers out. Amanda, can they call the City of Flint if they didn't pick up all those numbers to our customer service area and get those numbers to whereby we can send them for additional assistance?
Yes, and that number again is 810-766-7015.
Right, we have a high level, and Amanda's chief responsibility is to make sure that in that area that we operate well. And Amanda and I as mayor and Amanda as the treasurer, we have often had a lot of dialogue about how we are to accommodate water customers inside the city of Flint. You know, over the previous years, and Amanda can attest to this, more than 20,000 users were disconnected during the height of the water crisis. When I came into office, we had not only the water crisis going on, but also we had a health issue that Dr. Reynolds advised us that we probably need to look more kindly upon those individuals that were in need. And so many programs went into place to help assist residents for the payment. Also, we have the infrastructure repairs that are going on. We have internal infrastructure repairs and external. Internal, meaning that we're replacing water meters inside of residential homes throughout the city of Flint. The program was stalled. We had a contractor, we contracted with a contractor to provide that level of service. The service was interrupted in the middle because of the pandemic. We did not want individuals engaging face-to-face or in their homes during that period of time in order to safeguard lives. So now we're at the point where we're making sure we replace those meters inside those homes with our own staff. But we need you to communicate, and we need you to engage us so we can repair the meters and replace meters inside your home. Amanda, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, this meter change-out program, we began it in October of 2019, and like we said, we kind of came to a halt because of the pandemic, and we are now trying to get these meters changed out. We have changed out over 20,000 households have changed their meters, and we have over 4,000 more that we need to change over. It's free. There's no fee to update your meters. We have an app that goes with these new meters, so you can see if there's any leaks in your home, and you'll know it before you get your high bills or anything like that. So, I mean, it's something that is beneficial to the city. It's also beneficial to the residents, because like I said, we also see their usage before anything drastic happens. And any resident can call the customer service number. Again, that number is 810-766-7015 to see if they still need a meter change. We are sending out letters to residents that need to have it done, but you don't need to wait for that letter to come. So we can let you know if you need to change it, and then we can put this a time to change it. Meter change is going to take about 20 minutes.
Right, and these meters, so residents can lay any anxiety to the side. This is the upgrade to the system. These meters are highly technical, and they're better meters. It can detect leaks in your home. It can also help you track your usage. Even on your cell phone, you can look on your cell phone once you link up to your meter to see how much water usage that you have. This can help you reduce the cost of water. What has happened inside the city of Flint over the last decade or so, the current meters that's in some residents' homes are failing. They're no longer working. And so therefore we have to have the access to their homes to be able to upgrade the system. This is a part of the internal structural repair. We are not charging residents at all for the new meters, but we have to get everybody up on the new grid. Now, if you're not responding or you're not communicating back to the City of Flint, the assumption is made that because we have a high rental area inside the City of Flint, that someone can move in and out of the house, and the current bill that is being charged in the name of one particular person, but it could be you in the home, and they're not responding to us or have made the necessary adjustment to make the change in name, we could come and cut off the water because no one's communicating back to us. And so we're sending out additional letters to those addresses that where the meter has not been changed. We need residents to communicate back to us so we can upgrade your system, make sure that we are accurately charging you for the water, because you very well could be overpaying for the commodity of water. We don't know because the meters are no longer functioning in those homes. But we need to get access to those places in order to make sure that we can get you an accurate water read so we can get you an accurate bill. And Amanda, what number can they call to schedule an appointment for that?
Yes, it's 810-766-7015.
And Amanda, so when residents communicate back, and if we have an outstanding bill, my instructions to you as over the department to make arrangements with residents, but they have to communicate back. And how can they make arrangements, Amanda, if they have a large bill that they owe for?
Again, the coach just needs to call, and we've discussed several different avenues of which they can, go and receive assistance, but also we can, see that their, what their income is like, so that way we can make a good plan for them. Because each one is going to be individual on what people can and cannot afford, and we just try and make it so that way, customers understand that they still need to, just pay monthly and don't ignore the bill. That's the main thing.
Right. So, Pastor Pettigrew, I engage you as a member of the clergy, and some would say society is the church's report card. Inside the City of Flint, we have more than 400 churches inside the City of Flint proper. But if it is true that the society is a reflection of the church's report card, how can we better communicate through the faith-based organizations or ecclesiastic organizations to be able to get the word out that this administration is very friendly to people that are in need? And we want to make sure that we do things at a high level, and that's what we've been doing. What is your input to that particular request that maybe we can do more communications through the network of faith-based organizations?
But Mayor Neeley, each of our churches, we have certain areas set aside within our announcements, and some of us can even speak it from the pulpit. And our parishioners, we do still have beliefs in our pastors, and they're giving the information out. And we have all forms of Facebook information, and we can just promote it through that way to the community. And, for every voice that's here in the church, they at least going to be come in contact with at least 5 to 7 more people, and they just spread it out that way. Or flyer information, announcements in the church, even when the pastor speaks, we're talking about the community at large, they just speak on those various things that are designed at the head, the community.
Right, and through our leadership here in City Hall, I can tell you confidently today that we are stronger, better municipalities working together through our issues and our crises. We have been partnering with organizations and entities inside the city, making sure structurally we are better now. Over the last 27 months, we are better, even through the crisis of a water crisis, financial crisis, civil unrest, as well as a health crisis, because we have instituted a structure, a plan of action on how to do this, and also eliminating public corruption in many ways. But we want to talk about level of policing in our communities, because we have issues with safety, especially in the inner city areas across our country. We have an issue of gun violence and other violence, and we need to be able to de-escalate violence before it gets to a place where it ends up in a deadly altercation. With us today, we have Captain Dennis from the Nation of Islam that has been working very closely in many ways with our police department and our police chief, because we want to provide our level of training, cross-training with our police officers so they can be able to engage a situation better armed with information and tactical tools. We've been providing the necessary tools, body cameras, more instituted type of policy changes. No chokeholds. The city of Flint has banned chokeholds. The city of Flint has banned no-knock search warrants. We have declared racism as a mental health issue, as well as banned, biased crime reporting. So we need to make sure our officers have the best tools, and the best tool that they have is their brain. And so with the Peacekeeper movement, led by Captain Dennis, he brought a program and said that I could help train your officers in a different type of street view. And with us this morning is Captain Dennis. Good morning, Captain Dennis.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me well?
Well, you might have to elevate your voice just a bit.
How are we doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are very honored to have participated in your initiative. About 6, maybe 7 months ago, that we were talking about this initiative and bridging the gap between the community and law enforcement, which is so important to me. Flint, Michigan is not only the only city that is seeing a rise in influx of gun violence, but we're very thankful for bringing your gun as big as possible for the people of partnership. And with that great partnership, we were able to start training within the police department. We started off with 100 officers in listening training, but we have completed 20 police officers so far, and we haven't executed until this COVID kind of died down because many of the officers had reported off, so we didn't put it off in its way. But the training we gave them, Mr. Mayor, was right off the hook. We had got evaluations from the 20 officers that we gave them the training, and they gave us 100% approval that they enjoyed the training. And one of the things that made them enjoy the training is that we did not go in there and tell them what they have not done right. We went there and showed these officers who are dealing with some of the most challenging in our community that it's all right. We need to make them be better officers so they can be better human beings when they get home. When you give a training to police officers that direct to make them better officers and give you what you call emotional survival, and I didn't go in and tell you, see, your problem is you don't know how to treat. We didn't go that route. We concentrated on giving back their police officers that is the duty and the honor to give police officers, despite the challenges that you're going through. There is a serious, Mr. Mayor, mistrust that African Americans around the country have with law enforcement. Chief Reynolds done a fantastic job in trying to bridge that gap between the community and law enforcement. Remember this, crime and violence is a direct result of unmet social needs. Even though the police have a great intention to reduce crime and violence, until we address the social problems that created, we will be chasing our tail. But with the peacekeepers, and we have started 35 people of peacekeepers in your city, that we are now going into the community to teach the community that they have to be responsible for their own actions. They have to be responsible for their children. So with the community, with the peacekeepers, and with the law enforcement training under Chief Green, it's a win-win situation. And I'm very honored because I'm outside. I come here to see the value of this Michigan. When I hear you, Mr. Mayor, talk about the water crisis, every time I tell somebody I'm going to Flint, Michigan, I'm going to move to Flint, Michigan, they say to me, where they had that bad water at? I said, no, but we get that deal, but people don't see Flint, Michigan other than the bad water crisis. There is a great value in the work that you're doing and the work that you're doing to bridge that gap between the community and law enforcement.
Well, so Captain Dennis, let me engage here because we want to make sure we get a couple more announcements in. But the work and the training that you have done and brought into the City of Flint, working in conjunction with our police department, making sure that we have the ultimate level of training and de-escalation tactics is key. But definitely, we have to have a structural change in the way that we do business. One of the things that when I came into the office, one of the things I found out, was a gross lack in critical thinking as it relates to gun violence. All the illegal weapons that was confiscated by law enforcement officers inside the City of Flint, that means that when they were taken out of service, taken out of the hands of those that could use them in an illegal way, they were confiscated by law enforcement. Prior to us getting here, those guns were returned back into circulation because they were sold by the municipality. It is unconscionable to think that a municipality can be de facto turned into an arms dealer, especially when gun violence is one of the most heinous acts against human people here in the city of Flint. When we talk about violence and gun violence and people shooting one another, de facto, the city of Flint and all those residents were turned into arms dealers. Every weapon now, I'm proud to say that we confiscate, we destroy. We destroy those weapons. And we have those dialogues as it relates to what happens with gun violence across our country. You can talk about 611 mass shootings last year, more than 60 school shootings, even in Oxford here in Michigan. We could talk about the level of crime that's committed with these guns when they're in the hands of those individuals that would want to do wrong. We no longer are part of that negative chain. But kids cannot become what they cannot see, but they will become what they can see. I'm proud to say on April 4th, here in the city of Flint, right now in front of City Hall, a statue has been lifted in honor of the first African-American mayor of a major metropolitan city in America. That was Floyd J. McCree. Floyd J. McCree became mayor of the city of Flint in 1966. And now we have honored that individual for his accomplishments, open housing, and many other accomplishments. And one of his famous quotes says, "I will never live an equal opportunity lie." It has to be a reality. But we have erected a statue in front of City Hall in his image. And that is the only statue in the image of an African-American in this community. And it is now 2022. We have engaged in partnerships along Blight. We have made a commitment of $46 million in collaboration with our partners to eliminate every vacant structure inside the city of Flint. Those are plans and those are works, and that is real action that has occurred. We're out of time. Dr. Furhold, I know you're getting your computer together. We had a little technical difficulty, but definitely, I would say that to those Pastor Pettigrew in the faith-based community, try the Spirit by the Spirit. Don't let anybody steal your joy. As always, in the past, ended every broadcast by telling my dearly loved mother that I love her. I still do that here. We're still, State Representative Cynthia Neeley are still doing Celebrating Mothers. Our next Celebrating Mothers will be in the second week of April at the Haskell Community Center, Saturday from 10:30 until noon. Second Saturday in April, 10:30 until noon, we are celebrating mothers and treating them to breakfast. With everybody, stay positive, think positive, be positive for a positive outcome inside the city of Flint. I want to thank all of our guests. Let's engage each other in love. God bless. I love you, Mom. Thank you, WFLT, for listening.
Thank you for tuning in.